Greetings from the Doubter's Last Redoubt, installment number 3. What follows is a presentation based on my article that appeared in both the print and online editions of the January-February 2016 issue of Academe, the Journal of the American Association of University Professors. The article was entitled, Professor, Say Hi to the Devil. 1 week before Christmas Day, my fall 2014 medieval literature class came to an end when the last student sitting the final exam turned in her work. I handed back her semester literary analysis paper to her, graded, as I had previously done for all my other students. Apparently, the student in question was unhappy with her grade on the literature term paper. After I wished her a happy holiday season, she told me to say hi to the devil and darted out the door. After 35 years in the classroom, I had just been told by a student to, in so many words, go to hell. This was the first time such a thing has happened to me. Over the last several years, however, I have experienced a baleful classroom resistance to the old school idea that all college students, even English majors, should be able to read carefully and write competently. So at some level, I wasn't all that surprised. I just laughed. "What has happened to our students?" asked my fellow faculty members, as if speaking of changeling children or demonic possession. "Why are so many of them so rude and inconsiderate, not only to faculty, but also to each other? Why are so many of them so uninterested in an intellectual life and so poorly prepared for one?" Many candidates for the answer are put forward. The devil is, as always, in the details, and the details are legion. Some blame it on the demon that turned our students into smartphone zombies, obliviously wandering the quad. Others blame the malevolent spirit of texting and its rapid-fire prose, transforming us all into thumb-twiddling Twitterpates. Still others blame the damning delusions of video games and MTV reality shows. A few blame it on the sinister sleight of hand that has replaced aptitude, the capacity to learn and master a discipline, with aptitude, the capacity to operate a machine application. Beyond these skirmishes of the war in digital heaven, the infernal afterglow of No Child Left Behind, with its bubble filler tests and excerpted contextless readings, also comes in for much finger-pointing, as does a malign, have-it-all-now consumer lifestyle for leading students down the primrose path of spending too little time becoming scholars and too much time chasing dollars, far past even the undeniable need to cover the sharply rising costs of college. Or two, there are the hellish effects the Great Recession has had on a campus like ours, one that serves a region in which a third of the children grow up below the poverty line. Or, reluctantly, my fellow faculty members from across the disciplines point to the lingering grand deception, the one that says everyone ought to go to college, whether or not they have any genuine intellectual interest in doing such a thing. Because we, their forebears, hope that by overselling the work of the head, we might dodge the effects of our outsourcing and automating the work of the hand. And then there's the explanation that points to the student as entitled customer. Both the academic left and the academic right have the number of that little beast on speed dial. The right, in its critique of our educational pandemonium, emphasizes the ridiculousness of the entitled part of the student description. Misguided social promotion, identity politics, the fetishization of self-esteem, to the point that many current members of the student body think they're solar-powered because educators at all levels and parents of all sorts have blown so much sunshine up their posteriors. The left, in its critique, emphasizes the dark lunacy of the customer part of that student description, the apple of temptation that calls us to accept the remaking of all education, specifically in the image of the shiny Apple Store's total iconic user experience. Never mind why it might be that the clerk at the Apple Store doesn't grade us on our device shopping skills or send us back to try again if we fail to demonstrate mastery of said skills. And of course, never wonder whether the analogy of the student as customer, who is always right, might be diabolically wrong. In the context of unprotected and untenured faculty, That analogy translates in our worst students' minds to, I don't care about content or skills. Give me the grade I want or I'll get you fired. The old saying that success has many fathers but failure is an orphan is upended in the current discussion. Our fall from grace, our expulsion from some mythical educational paradise, is attributed to many parents, not to mention many parents, among them helicopter parents and bulldozer parents. Yes, they do exist. Yet, because most of our students still manage to be nice enough people, I can't help thinking that another answer may underlie all of those offered above. Perhaps a growing number of our students are so rude and inconsiderate precisely because they are so uninterested in an intellectual life. Addressing that diabolical issue is bigger than just the classroom. Bigger, too, than the hellish situation of a higher education system primarily staffed by non-tenured and part-time faculty who know that high academic standards in the classroom will get them punished rather than rewarded, and who stand dangerously exposed to all the grade inflation temptations spawned by their own contingent employee status and the growing emphasis from administrators and politicians on low admission standards and high graduation rates. But don't worry, we can count on the passionate intensity of our cloven-footed educational reformers to distract us from wondering about the larger hellscape and have us focus instead on, say, the odd abuse of teacher tenure. And we can rest assured that there will be no questions from that fiendishly clever crew about whether or not the situation our schools and universities find themselves in, the Faustian bargain that is education on the cheap, might have anything to do with hypocritical politicians and administrators or stingy voters. So I'll pass along here what I learned from my student. If we want to say hi to the devil, all we have to do is look in the mirror. His Satanic Majesty sends his regards. That's all for now. Remember, the last redoubt of doubt and faith is faith and doubt. Live long and prosper in love and peace. Power to the people. Good to go. Bye now.